Hello guys, going to be going over the PrizePicks MLB slate for this Thursday, May 5th. So it is a Thursday, so not all teams are going to be in action. For the ones that are, like some of these first inning props, the good ones like the Tampa Bay Seattle, it's not on the board, so unfortunately we can't take those. And just the ones that are available, I'm not really too interested in. Well, if we look at strikeouts, I think there is one here, Rich Hill, 4 strikeouts. So unfortunately, with last start, we were able to get Rich Hill's pitching outs on the board. I think it was like 15.5. Might have been, I think it was 15.5, but it kept getting lower, I think, until like 12.5. But all the unders still hit on that one last week. Unfortunately, he's not on the board right now. I mean, I put in the request, but they're probably not going to put him up. But again, Rich Hill is going to be probably going almost 4 innings. Tanner Hawk going to be following him. So I don't expect Rich Hill to exceed 4 strikeouts. He might get the 4 because he does have these weird games where he just is able to strike out guys. But a lefty, the Angels lineup is pretty righty heavy, and they don't strike out that much. And so I think Rich Hill just, if you're not going to be going more than 4 innings, you're going to have to strike out one guy at least. And he has to strike out more than that if we're to go over this number. So I do like the under here. And maybe he actually doesn't even go to 4 innings. Maybe he goes 3. And of course, it's going to be a higher chance of hitting. So really like that prop. And then we're going to go to pitching outs. And it's going to be Nick Martinez. So Nick Martinez here, 15.5 pitching outs. I'll take the under on this as well. Miami, this game's going to be in Petco, but the Marlins, like, they've been actually really good this year. If you take a look at the Marlins, so this is against hitting against right-handed pitching. Nick Martinez is a righty. The Marlins right now are ranked 5th in WRC plus. So any stat that you see plus, it just means league average, which is 100. So if their stat is above 100, that means they're above league average. Higher than the better they are. Lower than the worse they are. So they're ranked 5th right now in the league, and that might surprise some of you. I mean, it kind of surprised me. The Marlins, you don't really think of them having that great of an offense, but they are currently 5th in WRC plus. And I mean, like, you look, if you sort about other stats, like, I mean, on base percentage, that looks pretty good. They're 4th on that. I don't think they're really that powerful of a team. Yeah, like, they're 14th. But the thing is, like, you're taking the pitching outs here. So for me, I think that he's just probably a little bit too high in my opinion at 15.5. This number probably going to get bumped down to 15, so I would try to get on it as soon as I can. He's also just not someone that you typically think that can go really deep into games. So kind of goes hand in hand with the fantasy score prop, which of course is going to be Nick Martinez again, under 26.5. He's probably not going to go 6, and that's important because he's not going to be able to get the quality start points. I think it's, let me check. I think it's 3 or 4 for a quality start. It's 4 points. So, without getting those 4, it's going to just put on even more pressure for him to get more strikeouts or not allow runs. So I think that projection is just a little bit too high for Martinez. Marlins just, again, they have been pretty good, and I think maybe the projections are just saying that the Marlins are not a good hitting team against righties when they actually have been so far this season. Now on to hitting. We're going to look at fantasy score first as always. So it's going to start off the Angels, Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon over 6. So they're taking on Rich Hill. At most, they're probably going to see him twice. For Rendon, that's important because he definitely hits lefties a lot better than righties. And the thing is, you already know Tanner Hawk is going to be the guy that comes in after Rich Hill. So if Rich Hill is not pitching well, then you're going to get Hawk in the game earlier. But then that also means the Angels probably already put on some runs on Hill. So that could mean Trout or Rendon already reached their overs in their first or second at-bats. Now, if you look at the numbers, so Trout here, Rendon here, lefties, Rich Hill, he basically throws a curveball and a fastball. That's pretty much all he does. If you look at other sites, like, they don't have him throwing a slider that much, so it's kind of like disputing numbers, but it's the fastball and it's the curveball for Rich Hill. So if you look at the curveball, I mean, everyone hits the fastball well pretty much in the majors. So if you look at the curveball data, there's really not a whole lot you can go off of. I mean, past 3 seasons, like he got 3 batted balls in play, 4 for Rendon. But I mean, at least it's good to see that they hit those well. But then you look at Tanner Hawk, how he pitches, and Toronto Rendon, their numbers. So he's fastball slider guy, and if you look at how they do against the slider, they do just fine. I mean, Mike Trout, he's basically good at everything. But then Rendon, very solid WOBA, really solid ISO. So all that looks pretty good with a 6-point projection for Rendon. I do think that's probably a little bit low when you're gonna see at least an at bat or two against the lefty. And then we're gonna go to Christian Yelich, 6.5. Brewers are gonna pick on Hunter Green. Hunter Green just pretty much relies on his fastball. He's got a slider, but that fastball, he throws it a ton. Like, I think he throws like 80% to left-handed batters. And if you got a fastball, you're throwing it a ton. It's got to be good. Like, he has a good fastball, but when you only throw pretty much one pitch, you're just gonna get hit around. So Christian Yelich, fastball, like, it's gonna show you some good numbers. Yeah. So the ISO, that's pretty weird how it's low, but again, the projection's at 6.5. You're not betting on him to homer or anything. He's hitting at the top of the lineup, hitting third in a 4.7 run projected game. Like, the Reds, their bullpen's really bad. Just his ability to get on base, have guys behind him that can drive him in, everything like that. 6.5, I think it's pretty good when he has the platoon advantage here. So I like Yelich here. And then we're going to attack Nick Martinez. So that's going to be with Jazz Chisholm, the thumbnail boy from a few days ago. He is at 6 points. So Chisholm, just someone that is going to bat leadoff when facing a righty. Nick Martinez, if you look at his numbers, this does not indicate that he is any good. And if you look at the Marlins run total right now, it is only 3.5. I think that's really low for the Marlins, considering that the numbers that I just showed a little bit while ago, saying that the Marlins are just a good team against right-handed pitchers. So think Chisholm leading off, always going to have that speed threat so he can steal a base. Again, when you're at 6, you can just walk, steal a base. Unfortunately, he didn't get any opportunities to steal last time, but he went over his projection easily, and that was just based off of hitting stats. So if you were able to steal a base, then this is, again, just a really good prop at 6 even, so a lot easier to hit than a 0.5. So really like that. And then we're going to go on to hits and walks, but actually in the same game. So that is going to be Jake Cronenworth under 1.5 hits and walks. Cronenworth's numbers against lefties aren't really bad when you think of lefty-lefty matchups. Typically, left-handed hitters are going to be a lot worse when they face left-handed pitchers. That's not really the case for Cronenworth. But the thing is, the pitcher that he's going to go up against, Jesus Luzardo, he's really good against left-handed batters. So when you look at Cronenworth, who, I'll show the numbers here, he has a 6% walk rate against lefties. So basically, you're going to be looking at him to get 2 hits because he just doesn't really walk. And Luzardo, wish that he would walk less guys. Against lefties, it's 9.6%. So not, extremely high, but also not low. I just like to take props like this when it's a lefty-lefty matchup. Cronenworth, he's been okay this season, but when you're looking at someone that doesn't typically walk for this type of category, for this stat, like, I just like taking guys that don't walk because you're going to be relying on the hits a lot more than some of these other guys who do walk. And then we're going to move on to runs and RBIs. There's no total bases yet, so when those get added, I'll make sure to update, and for any other stats that they do, add to the board. But that will, of course, be on my Twitter. So that's just easier to update over there as opposed to posting in the YouTube comments. Now, there are 2 runs and RBI props. So the first one's going to be Willy Adames, over 0.5 runs and RBIs. Usually for runs and RBIs, I'm only taking the overs. Like, I just don't want to take the under because, under would be 0. Adames, 0.5. I really like this prop because, again, you're targeting Hunter Green, who it seemed like he was just so good when he came up in the majors, but lately he's really struggled. He's had some tough matchups like the Dodgers, which he actually pitched really well in, but just when you rely on the fastball as much as he does, and you look at Willie Adams' numbers against the fastball, like you look at this fastball, past 3 seasons, 87 balls in play, 420 WOBA, 302 ISO, 59, basically 60% hard hit rate. And if you look at, because Hunter Green throws really hard, he throws 100 plus. You look at fastballs that are above 96 miles per hour. Willie Adames still 404 WOBA, 241 ISO, 64% hard hit rate. Like these are insane numbers. So he definitely can handle high velocity. So 0.5, whether it's he's getting a chance to hit with guys on base, Colton Wong, or if they decide to bat someone else lead off, he's gonna be able to get on base or drive someone in. So really like this prop. And then Bo Bichette, 0.5 runs and RBIs. If I can find this game, he usually bats second. Make sure to check the weather because obviously we don't want to be taking someone that's in a game that might get shortened. But Aaron Sivali just hasn't been really pitching that well. Quickly take a look at his stats here. Sivali, I think he had a tough outing last time against the Yankees. Now, the Blue Jays aren't really, they're not an easy matchup either, but a whole lot of blue. That's what you want to see when you're taking a hitter against, a pitcher that just struggles as much as he does. He's allowing a 40% hard hit rate, doesn't strike out a lot of guys. His ERA is insanely high. Expected ERA going to be a lot lower, but WOBA, bottom 5% of the league, things you like to see. That's going to help. But yeah, it indicates that he's kind of been a little bit unlucky, but also when we look at Sivali, like we don't think that he's, like an ace pitcher or anything. And when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays, they're just a stacked lineup. Teoscar Hernandez projected in actually, so I'm going to check on that later. But yeah, if he's back, then that's just a huge boost to this Blue Jays lineup, having another guy to be able to drive in Bichette if he gets on base. So that's going to help him, again, batting second. Just I like that when, instead of batting first, because you don't have to rely on your bottom of the lineup hitters to get on base for you to drive them in, unless you're just doing yourself with a homer. So I like Bichette. These are the two favorite runs and RBI props that I have on the board right now. Just nothing else really. There's not a whole lot of, there's not a lot of props to choose from either because they're just not a lot of games today. So I think favorite prop right now, it's going to be Rich Hill under 4 strikeouts. If they put up a pitching outs, I'll be sure to update you guys on that. And if they do, like that probably becomes my favorite prop. But right now, it's going to be Rich Hill. And then I would say Nick Martinez and then Willie Adames, his runs in RBIs. So for the case of this video thumbnail, I'm probably not going to choose Rich Hill because, I just did recently. But he's definitely going to be one of my favorite plays today, most likely. So hopefully have some better luck today than we did yesterday with Dylan Bundy. Just unfortunate what happened with him. But yeah, hopefully that we do have a lot of success. And then we're going to be looking towards the Friday slate, which is going to be a full set of games. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. And make sure you go follow my Twitter. Link will be in the description below at WLin018. I'll always update my plays over there. Post them before the games start. So again, thank you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.